Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of my Control playthrough. In this episode we're going to be keeping things, a little less away from the story side. We're going to be doing some side missions. And right now we're doing the one where we're collecting the dog tags of the security chief. I forget his name. But we're collecting the dog tags for some old teammates of his that have turned into hiss. So without further ado, let's kill some hiss and get back into the video.
Ranger buddies. I should find the others.
They don't appreciate good music. And that's the reason. You need to scrap that. They are very good listeners. You can tell them anything. Or you can sing to them. They like that.
Area's under quarantine. I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first. Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
Excuse me? Are you lost?
No?
Do you normally barge into people's private workspaces?
She clearly doesn't know who she's talking to. Shouldn't you be in a safe room?
Why? Because of those hiss things the Rangers keep going on about. Haven't you people sorted that out yet? The situation down here could spell doom for the Bureau.
You mean this mold?
Correct. Perhaps you could help me. I require samples of various mold strains, and the mold has made the environment far too dangerous for me to fetch them myself.
Really? Mold samples? I thought this could spell doom.
It could, and it will, whoever you are. The mold is spreading. We need to find the source before it spreads too far.
And these samples will do that?
No. Samples of 5 unique strains, when blended properly, will allow you to travel deeper into the pit, where I've pinpointed the approximate location of the source of the mold.
Okay. So what do these samples look like?
Similar to the one on my table there. I've made a list of the samples I need. Here. You'll find them throughout the threshold.
I'll take a look. My name's Jessie, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
Alright, I can't wait till she finds out I'm the
Thanks
director.
for the information.
My pleasure. This work won't finish itself.
She thinks very highly of herself, doesn't she?
It smells so sweet down here. Suddenly I'm really hungry. I wonder how this mold tastes.
Maybe don't find out.
Are those people?
It died. How horrible. Bitch. Okay. Ow! I'm dead. Okay, I didn't know there was another one.
found one. Gross. Underhill is gonna owe me for this.
God, more threshold
One of Underhill's
kids.
samples.
Bitch. Where's that coming from? Damn thing. Ah. There's the other one.
This looks like a good one.
Okay, let's see what
You
she
look
thinks.
like a woman with mold for me.
I do look like a woman with mold for you, don't I?
I found all 5, but I kind of wanted to eat them.
The mold has that effect on some people. Likely due to the fact it's not actually mold or even of this dimension. I suspect it is the result of 2 incompatible molecular structures, one dominant, coming into contact. I call it mold or fungus because it's closer in appearance and behavior than anything else we know. Except perhaps bacteria.
She reminds me of my old biology teacher.
Did you happen to meet any more members of my ranger detail?
I didn't see any rangers. Just walking mold people. Unless...
Yes. If you found mold people, you found my rangers. I refer to the creatures as hosts. They, like other unwary agents, succumbed to the appetite.
Great.
But that's nothing for you to worry about. The pill I'm about to make with these samples will make the lower level perfectly safe to traverse. It has the added benefit of immunizing you against the pit's toxic spores.
feel like I should ask to see her credentials.
There. That didn't take too long now, did it? Ingest this pill, then go and find the source of the mold. Only there can we begin to understand how to stop it.
Take a mystery pill because a rude lady in a hazmat suit tells you to. Great idea, Jesse.
She is rude, isn't she?
Ugh. Honestly, did you want me to wrap it in cheese?
Not the taste, the smell. It stinks in here now.
Good. That means the pill is working. The worse it smells, the safer you'll be. Now go. Find the source.
Great. Glad I did that.
Thanks for the information.
My pleasure.
This must be the pit Underhill was talking about.
Must be the pit she was talking about. Oh my god. Whoop. I feel safe now. Don't you feel safe now? I'm gonna throw this dead body. Does make everyone feel safe? Everyone feel safe now? I feel safe now. Everyone should feel safe now. Just saying, it's weirder if you're not feeling safe right now.
God. Further I go, the worse it smells.
Smells like up dog. Go do my bidding. Thought I saw something move there. Ooh, boxes. I love boxes. Give me boxes. Love those boxes. Boxes, boxes. Oh. Okay, go do my bidding. Because, like, hot girl summer. Yes. Like, what are you doing? Stop it. Just fucking die. Thank you. This is not hot girl summer. I'm very much not feeling the vibes. Alright, I think everyone is dead. Hey. Oh. Give me a box.
Is that the source?
I don't like the source.
Kind of pretty.
Oh, it's not pretty anymore. I don't like it.
Nope. Not pretty.
The math is not mathing. I'm dead. Okay, that's like very hard. I don't like it. Help me. Oh, it's not mathing. It's not mathing at all. I'm dead again. Okay. Oh, fuck. I keep pressing the wrong fucking button. Because the math is not mathing. Oh, I hurt you so bad. Ow. Damn it. It was at that moment that I gave up. But, I will be back, to kill Mold, later. At some time when I am better equipped, because that was taking a toll on my very soul. Anyway, I went for a little bit of a change of pace from killing mold, or killing, what, is mold a plant? Kinda, sorta, maybe? No? I don't know. But I went from killing mold to talking to plants, for Ati, the janitor. I mean, I had a little bit of trouble, finding the first plant, but I do find it eventually. And it is one of the sweetest things I have ever seen in a video game.
Talk to the plants. Small talk was never really my strong suit. At least they can't talk back.
Right. But, like, how? Where are the plants I'm supposed to be talking to? Oh, wait, here, I can talk to the plants here. Okay.
I hope your day has been productive, little plant.
Yeah.
That really works, huh?
Yeah. Cool plant. Plants are cool. Ah, here's one.
I hope those nasty hiss haven't been bothering you too much.
Oh. It's just kind of wholesome.
I wish my leaves were as pretty as yours.
Aww. That is so freaking sweet.
Do you have a family? I have a brother. I miss him a lot.
Oh, there's one.
They say I'm the director, but what does that mean? I have no experience in leadership roles. I have no on-the-job training.
Oh. Okay.
Your chlorophyll really brings out the green in your leaves.
It does, though.
That's all of them. But I kind of wish there were more.
Oh.
They're good listeners.
So, just move over there.
Hello? I need some help here.
Hello. Hi.
Someone needs help of... I'm here. What happened to you?
I got in a little scrap. Name's Horowitz.
Is he gonna be okay?
Don't look at me like that. I'm fine. But Wells is still in there. You gotta get him out.
Who's Wells?
My squad mate. We were hunting a runaway altered item. We followed it down into the clocks.
The clocks.
A threshold. The Bureau sealed it up years back because of all the clocks. We followed the altered item inside, but the way it was acting, we weren't ready. Me and Wells were the only ones to make it to the motel court. He was right behind me, but he never showed up on this side.
I'll go find him. But first, you need to get to a medic.
Wells is the medic. Please, you gotta get him out of there. I'll be fine, really. Roop can patch me up later.
Fine. But I'll be back for you.
I damn well hope so. Just use the motel cord there. It should get you into the clocks. Sorry, the threshold.
Locked, right? Yep, okay. Oh god. Ah, give me key. Thank you.
This
I'm
Wells
missing it.
guy can't be far.
Right. Okay,
Shit.
how did you survive?
Are you Wells? Your friend asked me to come looking for you.
That must be Horowitz. Glad he got out. I stayed back to help the others. Did a shit job of it, clearly.
You tried. That's enough. Horowitz needs your help now. How do we get out of here?
We should head back through the threshold. We can look for other survivors as we go.
We better hurry. Which way?
Just follow the blood.
Okay.
Let's go.
Guess this must be the way? Wait. You have higher security level clearance than me? That's not right.
What's with the clocks?
Threshold effect. This used to be a regular office wing before the threshold manifested. The forces at play in there got a hold of someone's old clock and started duplicating it. Now the office is abandoned and its clock's all the way down.
Okay. Sure.
Let me see. So, you came down here for an altered item?
The anchor, yeah. Langston said it'd be a simple item retrieval. But the power of that thing had. I've never seen it. That's O'Neill. Shit. No one else got out. That safe room is where the altered item cornered us. We sealed the door on the way out. We couldn't let it get out into the Bureau.
I'll need to come deal with that altered item later. If I open the safe room now, Wells could get hurt.
We locked it tight. Come on, we need to get back to Harwood's. When it was clear we couldn't contain the altered item, Horowitz ordered a retreat. We got out, but Hiss were waiting for us. I took Horowitz to the motel court and went back for the others.
That was brave of you.
I'm the medic. It's my job.
Will you move? Thank you. Move! Thank you.
Just keep going straight. Come
Huh.
on. The motel court is on the other side of logistics. Horowitz should still be there.
Okay.
Hold on. Something's wrong with him.
Shit.
Horowitz. Oh, God, no. You hit motherfucker! Took him!
Where the hell did he go? He's stuck in there?
I should talk to Wells. Make sure he's okay. I'm sorry about your friend.
Thanks. And thanks for coming to get me. Horowitz's HRA must have been damaged in the threshold. Guy never put himself first. At least the anchor-altered item is still locked away down in the clocks. I hope it rots down there.
That altered item needs to be dealt with before it hurts anyone else. I should go back down and contain it. Head to the executive sector, Wells. They could use a medic.
Thank you, Director. I'll go see what good I can do there.
Alright, so I was just exploring around, and in the Panopticon, I find this door. And it is the door to the archive section, which I've played this game like 2 times before this. I've never seen this place, but inside, you know, nothing really too interesting. There's some files that'll be at the end of the video. I mean, obviously, it's the archive section, there's going to be files. And there was some hiss and an astral spike. I'll show you a picture of that, just so you can remember what it is. But something else interesting happened in this room right here. Watch this. Oh! Oh my god, that is like the fucking worst jump scare ever. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh, jump scare. She said, oh, jump scare. Oh my god.
You're listening to America Overnight, broadcasting the truth no matter the consequence for 29 years and counting. Thank you for staying up with us. We've received an interesting letter here at the program. If you'll humor me, I'd like to read it. Dear America Overnight, I can feel myself becoming gigantic. It's constant. A growth in all directions, in each cell. Only when I measure myself, it says I'm the same height. I weigh the same weight. I've read that the universe is expanding. If that's the case, then 5'3" is taller than what 5'3" was yesterday. I feel it all the time. This expanding. I always have. I don't know why. Sometimes it's all I can do just to ignore it. People write about the universe expanding like it's happening slowly, but it's not. We were the size of mice yesterday. Now mice are the size of us, and we are the size that mice will be in 2 days. How long can this go on for? There must be an end, right? A limit? An edge? What happens when we reach it? Does anyone else feel this? Can anything be done? And that signed Kate from Michigan. Well, how about it, America? Have you felt the universe expanding? Do you know how to stop it? Should we even try? America Overnight will be right back. You're listening to America Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years. Thank you for staying up with us. Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings, voices, and other phantasmagorical phenomena. Today, friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan, tells his story. Quincy.
Thanks. This is something I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for last year's SuspiciaCon. I was in room 47. The night manager, an avid listener of the program, insisted I take this particular room. Now, the manager explained that years back, the body of a man was discovered under the bed, inside that wooden border that motel beds tend to have. And the body had been there a week, he said. Guests had stayed there, sleeping with the corpse a foot below them. They only found the body when housekeepers complained about the smell. Hauntings have been reported in room 47 ever since. I happily took the room. I fell asleep pretty quick, checking under the bed first, of course. No ghosts visited me, no chilly spots or flickering lights. But when I woke up, I found myself under the bed. It was dark and stiflingly hot. Luckily, I was able to push the mattress off and crawl out before I suffocated. The night manager was kind enough to find me another room.
Oh, there you have it, listeners. What we call ghosts take many forms. Quincy was brave enough to tell his story, and I encourage you to keep calling and writing whenever you encounter something strange, something you can't explain. Maybe you're seeing colors that we have no name for. Maybe your toaster is possessed. Remember, dear listeners, when no one else believes you, we do. America Overnight, we'll be right back.
Lucky Item Manifest. Federal Bureau of Control. Lucky Item Manifest. Bronze koi fish, China. Attracts abundance and wealth. Feng Shui. Horseshoe, Ireland. Wards off evil. Orientation important. Heel up allows luck to be kept. Heel down, luck flows outward. Maneki Neko, Japan. Beckoning cat used in shops, paw held up to beckon customers, creating luck for the business owner. Four-leaf clover, Ireland. Shamrock, rare plant variation. Connections to Druidic healing rituals. Elephant, China. Protection, good luck, wisdom, feng shui. Light bulb, various. Documented gambling rituals indicate luck is produced when all lights in the room are turned on. Note, effects of items to be tested. Consider investigating the orientation of horseshoe. Also consider positioning of feng shui objects. Proximity of luck items may influence luck readings. For information on ritual use, lucky actions to perform and avoid, and relevance to OCD behavior, see File 928-1672. Surfboard procedures. Guru Surfboard, AI 43 PE, containment procedure. No unique procedures required. Any attempts to abuse the object's effects for personal gain will result in termination. Description, altered effect. An antique surfboard believed to originate from the 1960s due to its design. The item enhances self-confidence when touched. The duration of this effect is blank. Background. The item came to the Bureau's attention through a popular nationwide tour of speaking engagements advertising the item as a proven miracle worker, especially for those afflicted by personal shortcomings. This self-help course was called The Power of the Board, created and operated by a man named Chester Bless. Numerous attendees experienced an immediate surge in optimism and daring after touching the item. Once the craze reached a fever pitch, with events attracting thousands of people, the Bureau took action. Agents raided Mr. Bless's Los Angeles home only to find the house empty and the man gone. Only the item remained in the house, in plain sight.
It's done. It's just one large-scale HRA. It's an easy choice, no choice. It's there now. Protecting the most important thing. From us coming, I'll be there inside. Locked in. Ready to be blown away. Vent down engines. Ready for the journey. To be blown, flying into the model. Ready to see. To understand.
Darling Underhill Disagreement. Dear Dr. Darling, I feel I must inform you of the very questionable documentation I am seeing from Uphill's desk. She clearly has no concept of what the mold is. She claims there are microorganisms responsible for constructing the mold. Ridiculous. It's a rapidly growing fungus, not dissimilar to kudzu. She's fabricating complexity just to justify her absurd budget demands. Speaking of which, I find it interesting that an old friend of yours gets her budget approval with no questions asked. I wonder if the Operations Oversight Committee would be interested to learn that. Yours in estimation, Dr. Abraham Lewis.
Have you worked with Emily Pope?
Our paths have crossed. Darling arranged for us to have a coffee. A meeting of the minds, he called it. She's talented. I can certainly see her doing well here.
I feel like there's a but coming.
But she's drunk a bit too much of the Bureau's proverbial Kool-Aid. She shouldn't be afraid to forge ahead on her own. Science is skepticism. Everything must be questioned before the truth can emerge.
So, is Darling your boss?
If you insist on clinging to such outdated hierarchies, then yes. However, I would argue that our fields are too dissimilar for one to manage the other. Of course, Darling would much prefer to find his own miracle solution to the Bureau's fungal frustrations. He always needs to be the hero.
I don't think I like her.
So tell me again how you came to work at the Bureau?
Well, like I said, I was brought in as a special advisor. A temporary position, you see. Although that's not the whole truth. I was employed here for a time, straight out of university. After a decade of admittedly fascinating work in threshold research and regulation, I began to chafe under the bureaucracy. I needed a change. Not that academia was so different.
And then the mold happened.
About 4 months ago, yes. Since my departure from the Bureau, they hadn't been able to find my equal in threshold analysis. Darling and I had kept in touch over the years, meeting at conferences and the like. He called me, and I booked a flight. I've never been able to say no to a man with a dangerous alien biosphere. I had to leave my post in the middle of term, but so be it.
So she's a professor. That explains a lot. The mold seems to be having some weird effects on things.
Indeed. Even people are susceptible. The fungus grows rapidly within the chest cavity, killing the host. Luckily, one must ingest the stalks to become infected.
Don't eat the mold.
Okay. We've always cremated the infected bodies after autopsy, but I believe there may be another stage of maturity. A blooming, if you will.
I never thought the word blooming would sound so horrible.
Right? Alright, I can't wait till she finds out I'm the
Thanks
director.
for the information.
My pleasure.
Pink Flamingo Supplement. Pink Flamingo AI46KE. Background. Agents noticed a transistent commonly found outside the entrance of the Bureau headquarters would carry the item and loudly claimed to be responsible for the lack of inclement weather. The frequency of these claims attracted the personal interest of Dr. Darling. In interviews disguised as casual conversations, the transistent reported that the item gives me clouds when it's hot and sun when it's not. An event of note occurred during the heavy downpour when the vagrant was witnessed performing a possible ritual with the item. See file PAI 1372 for a detailed observation. Dr. Darling reported a wait of blank seconds before the rain stopped. The vagrant was seized the next day. After blank, he was found to possess no blank and was released. The item remains in the Bureau's custody upon suspicion of altered status, though this still has not been proven. All known variations of identification formulas have failed to elicit a response from the item. Balloon procedures. Get well balloon AI58KE. Containment procedure. Item must be kept away from animals. The cell must be regularly cleaned of black substance the item produces. All cleaning tools must be blank along with the black substance itself. Description. Altered effect. Item is a novelty balloon made of silver mylar. On its face is a colorful message to get well, surrounded by cartoon hearts. A ribbon is attached to the balloon. Item has not stopped floating after a considerable amount of time in the Bureau, which suggests it does not hover through the use of helium. The item produces a dark-colored sticky substance which drips down its ribbon. God, more threshold
One of Underhill's
kids.
samples.
Stepping to the ep6, there's lots to do, there's lots to read, but you don't touch and don't scream much. Let's join the threshold kids. Let's join the threshold kids.
Fixed.
Building shifts occur at random and without warning, but with the Bureau's cutting-edge technology, we can stabilize the oldest house. Safe employees are happy employees.
That's terrifying. Why would you show this to kids?
Rituals allow agents to navigate the oldest house as well. But accidents do happen. Trapping agents inside the walls. I heard you got stuck in your room for 3 days, Topher. Too bad you didn't have your book with you. Or any food. And remember, kids, when you feel the floor deviate, it's already much too late.
That is horrible. Why would you ever show that to a child? Picnic basket procedures. Berman basket AI54UE. Containment procedure. Item to be stored in Blackrock paneled cell. Keep away from lab animals when not in use. Description. Altered effect. A simple wicker basket with cloth lining, no food items inside. The item produces a high phonic effect that solely affects non-human animals, forcing them to congregate passively around the object. Animals from every genus and species that have thus far been tested are susceptible. Single-cell organisms do not appear to react to the effect. Appendix 697. Item was taken to a forest upstate for testing. Results of the test provided contrasting data, as some of the attracted animals exhibited hyper-aggressive behavior. The exercise unfortunately resulted in blank blank. Further testing should be restricted to a more low-risk animal species with medical staff on standby. Mold threshold. Progress support, active threshold, mold research. Summary. So you want to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper? Here it is. Microscopic organisms, similar in appearance to blank, construct the architecture of the mold. I do not understand if these blank are the original disseminators of the mold or are bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I've ever seen. I theorize there is a mold source located somewhere on our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as Mold 1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It propagates in the chest cavity and quickly succumbs the entire body, seizing control of motor functions. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived, which means the mold has adapted to our presence, targeting our biological impervities as a way to spread. It's a truly ingenious little thing. A full report will be ready soon. Keep your slacks on. Threshold Utility Counter-Essay. Alternative Perspective. Re-Thresholds Utility Research. Summary. Dr. Darling recently penned an essay titled Blank. Blank contains some glaring omissions that I feel I must shine a light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau, while the mold is actively hostile, to use his words. We cannot determine the worth of these dimensions and their life forms using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the blank creating the mold were reconfigured in their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of disease we've attempted to introduce could be derived into blank. Yes, admittedly, this application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. Refer to File 235, 1863 for a full report. Underhill checking in. Hello, Rhea. How is it going down there? Enjoying the mold so far? Settling back into life at the old FBC? I wanted to ask how your coffee with Emily went. She's a star on the rise, incredibly bright, and extremely intuitive. But I want to hear what you thought of her. I think you two could be very good on a project together, could learn a lot from each other. Let's get together and chat about it soon. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm sure you can't think of anything besides the mold right now. You always were a woman of focus. I always admired that about you. Talk soon, Casper. Hammer procedures. Game Hammer AI 5BE. Note: Pre-archival mandates A.4. This document has been edited to meet current administrative standards. Certain terminology may be out of date. Containment procedure. No method for suppressing the atom's thaumaturgical effect is yet known. To prevent infection, wear proper safety gloves when handling. Description: Altered effect. The item is a wooden mallet from a high striker carnival game. A long wooden handle extends from the head. The item infects any organic material with an unknown disease upon making physical contact. The effects of this disease are similar to leprosy, but develop at a much faster rate. Within a matter of days, tissue loss develops in the limbs closest to the point of infection. While the disease itself has not claimed any lives, secondary infection has resulted in numerous deaths. Oh my god, what the fuck? Jeez. Okay, I gotta figure out if there's a way of beating this. Okay, oh my god. Plenty of samples, I guess. What if I turn it on again?
Ramsey, Ranger Captain, note 7.25. Underhill sent us down this weird-ass threshold looking for whatever's making all these vegetables sprout. I will say this, it smells delicious. Ramsey, Ranger Captain, note 7.28. Wait, 6, 7, whatever. Still in the threshold. Ollie's straight up eating the vegetables now, because, well, why not? Mom said, eat your vegetables. Eat too many and your skin will turn green. Green like Ollie's. Hey, Ollie, what'd you find now?
Okay, that's great. I love that. Balloon supplement. Get well balloon AI58KE. Background. The item was used in the children's ward of a local hospital in blank. Witnesses do not recall where the balloon came from. Therapy dogs, part of a program called Blank, meant to comfort the sick children, were noticeably attracted to the item. They reportedly jumped at the item, licking it when they could. The children claim the dogs began walking through the halls of the hospital at night, howling in a low pitch. One child described this sound as singing. A few days later, the dogs were all discovered dead, a dark substance leaking from their blank. The hospital staff called local authorities, who called the CDC. Bureau agents intercepted this call and arrived at the scene within blank hours. The item was taken for evaluation, along with the remains of the dogs. See file PAI 2411.B for details. Rubber duck procedures. Rubber duck AI52AE containment procedure. Direct contact with the item is not permitted. Safety gloves are required when handling. Description: altered effect. Item is a yellow rubber duck bath toy from the 1950s. A single hole in the bottom allows air and water to flow in and out. The item makes a sound analogous to quacking. The item travels considerable distances with surprising speed. How it achieves this motion is unknown. The item forms a blank of unknown purpose with anyone who makes direct physical contact with it and begins to follow them, quacking often. This has led to a researcher named Blank entering cardiac arrest, though due to the individual's health issues. The matter may not be connected to the item's effect. Appendix. Item on loan to the research sector for further study.
I've been fielding questions recently regarding HRAs. What are they for? Do you always need to wear them? And what's the deal with the Hedron resonance anyway? Fuck. Despite what you may have heard, HRAs are not monitoring devices. We're not tracking your movements or listening to your conversations while you're wearing them. You do that regardless whether or not you're wearing an HRA. Think of them as a life preserver. Only instead of water, the thing HRAs protect you from is classified. One day that classified, not water, might pour in, and you'll be glad you got an HRA keeping you afloat. And if you don't have an HRA, don't worry. It'll be quick and painless. Kidding. I'm kidding. We're making more.
Okay, that sounds very cheery. Astral Plane Counter Essay. Alternative Perspective. Objects of Power and Their Astral Connections. Summary. Dr. Darling is insistent that certain objects of power share a direct connection to the board, an entity or group of entities that we have little information on, or that I'm allowed access to. In his written reports, he states that there is a clear link between these objects of power and the board, the astral plane, and the oldest house itself. His work supposes these links are innate, a fact ingrained into the very DNA of objects such as the hotline or the service weapon. But what if these particular objects were never linked to the board, but had that connection forced upon them? Isn't it strange that no other objects of power require such direct contact with the board? Isn't it strange that using the service weapon or the hotline will result in grievous harm or even death if the user is not the director, or at least worthy of the role? Why do we assume this involvement by the board is a natural fact and not something more blank? Refer to File 623, 9382 for full report. Darling Budget Request. Federal Bureau of Control. Dear Dr. Darling, I suspect my colleague Dr. Harrington has already contacted you asking for an increase in her department's budget. I'm not surprised. Parapsychology has always been the squeaky wheel, all fuss but no results. Parakinesiology has always been the stronger department. More breakthroughs, more tangible data, more usable research. I'm sure a man of your esteem can plainly see which department is more deserving of the budget increase. Just think what those additional resources could do for an already formidable research team. Anyway, I know you're a fan of single malt, so I left a bottle of well-aged brown on your desk. Yours in admiration, Dr. Abraham Lewis. Astral Plane. Examination of paranatural objects, the astral plane, and objects of power. Summary. The Bureau has spent years studying why objects of power transport users into the astral plane when touched. My predecessor, Dr. Ash, theorized that a potential receptacle determined by Jungian archetypes and the collective subconscious would be inhabited by paranatural energies when an AWE occurred in its vicinity, creating an altered item. Over time, a link was created by the board in the astral plane to that item, making it an object of power. So many additional theories have been raised since Dr. Ash's time. Objects of power were placed on Earth as tests by some astral entity. Our dimension was once part of the astral plane, and the objects were left behind as its borders receded. The astral plane was an early threshold into the oldest house, but the connection was severed, and now the two are linked solely through the objects of power. I will attempt to disprove some of these in order to thin the herd. Hopefully, the truth will emerge. Refer to File 632, 6498 for a full report. Postbox Supplement. Jasper Postbox, AI-31PE. Background. Agents arrived in the town of Jasper Crossing, Arizona after the Communications Department intercepted multiple phone calls to the local authorities regarding frozen people in the streets. 4 of the 5 dispatched agents became paralyzed upon arriving at the scene. Additional assessment teams were dispatched. Variations of identification formulas were tried with ineffectual results. Agents resorted to using aerial photography to study the positioning of the paralyzed individuals. Soon after, agents discovered the event's epicenter to be the local post office. Unaffected agents cleared the area of all paralyzed civilians, animals, and Bureau personnel before beginning to study the item. Agents deemed susceptible to the item were tasked with interviewing and re-informing the public away from the site. The item was soon placed on a transport vehicle manned by unaffected agents. Air travel had been deemed too dangerous given the item's effect. Numerous reports of temporary paralysis were reported by civilians among the truck's route from Arizona to New York City. Refrigerator Supplement Arctic Queen AI-10KE Supplementary Materials Blank Interview 11.20.1974 A. Can you tell us why you left your building that day? LM. I was running out to get eggs. There was a corner store on 30th. That's why I left Michael there on his own. No, I wouldn't be gone long. He was drawing at the table when I left. Had his crayons out. Happy. The building came down when I was a block away. I ran back, started digging. City workers found Mikey later beside the fridge. The drawings hadn't come off. Tons of bricks fall on it, and those drawings are still there. How does that happen? A. You kept the refrigerator after the accident? Why? It still had his drawings. God must have kept them safe for a reason, right? I'd come home from work and I'd stare at them all night. I was in a bad way back then. Why did you sell the fridge with your son's drawings still on it? They'd gotten stuck on it, or something. I thought about cutting them off, those magnets, but maybe it was better. I didn't hold on to them, you know. Gotta move on, everyone says. What's my fridge gotta do with the building collapses, anyhow? End of relevant portion. Work chat, plane parts. Okay, Mr. Head Dog, what do you think of this? You know that airplane we brought in? Like, the actual, proper airplane? Guess who they made catalog every individual piece of that plane to be examined for suspected altered status? I had to count every bolt, nut, and piece of non-connected material. And that's on just the exterior of the damn thing. Do you know how many pieces of hardware it takes to make an airplane? I do. Pram procedures. Smoking pram. AI-13KE. Containment procedure. Containment cell must be properly ventilated. Inhalation of the item's smoke causes blank. Description. Altered effect. Item is a baby carriage with a black shade and steel wire wheels. Left front wheel is slightly bent, causing a distinct wobble when pushed. Item produces smoke incessantly. Smoke density varies. Smoke is generated without apparent fire or ignition source. Background. An incident in Paris in 1979 brought the pram to the attention of the Bureau. Smoke filled an antique store where the pram was being sold, killing the shop's owner. Update. Detailed records of the events leading to the item's discovery were destroyed in an incident in the Panopticon. Interviews with living witnesses were re-performed at the order of the Archives and Records Chief.
Step into the ep6, there's lots to do, there's lots to read, but you don't touch, and don't scream much. Let's join the Threshold Kids. Let's join the Threshold Kids.
TV! Let's watch Junkies in Space! It's not safe! But Star Captain Eagle! Can I poke it with a stick? Okay. Bureau rule number 74. Always be suspicious of things that weren't there before. What? Looks safe to me. Donkeys in space! Wait! It's not even plugged in!
Just as disturbing as usual, I guess. Panopticon Methods Proposal. Process and Best Practices. Panopticon Containment Procedures Proposal. Summary. In this proposal, I'd like to explore the matter of containment policy when an altered item enters the oldest house. We thoroughly investigate any possible combination of actions or words or material that will prevent the item from applying its altered effect. However, I work with these entities every day, and I have a good reason to believe that a less convoluted form of containment is possible. The items crave blank. If we initiated a series of blank, praising the items or perhaps incorporating their images into pieces of blank that could be visited throughout the Bureau, I believe the altered items would behave without needing to resort to blank or blank, which only lead to the items feeling mistreated. If we treat them like criminals, we can't be surprised when they try to escape. Refer to File 483 4382 for full report. Altered item behavioral changes. Behavioral containment changes. Altered items. Summary. Recently there have been some alarming changes in behavior and altered effect in two altered items in the Panopticon. The blank and the blank have become much more aggressive, with entirely new effects manifesting for no discernible reason. The items have been investigated for updated containment procedures to counter these new effects, with one successfully discovered to be contained by constant visual contact. But this development is worrying. What if all the altered items undergo this behavioral change? We need to find out why this is happening. What is changing? Handling these altered items has also resulted in numerous Panopticon staff being blank. I would say that they've gone to the astral plane, but these aren't objects of power. Not one of them has come back. This, plus the uptick in astronauts not returning from their dives, has me wondering what the hell is going on. Is anyone looking into this? Is there any plan? Refer to File blank for full report. Book Club, Philip. Book Club Thoughts by Philip P. Unless You hooked me right away. It began with visceral dismemberment scenes and this great unsettling vibe created by the unexplained creature they named the Fix. As an avid horror fan, I loved how this story veered from the genre conventions into something a little more, for lack of a better word, weird. Everything felt familiar, but just a little off. The characters even comment on it, saying how their lives felt out of control, as if they were just programmed to perform some empty actions over and over. Very meta. And I love the way they left the ending wide open. What happened to the guy they ordered to watch those monitors for the rest of his life? Did the Fix get him? Is he dead? Did he end up in the parallel reality with the others? We don't know, and that's okay. All in all, an interesting read. I'll give it a solid 4 out of 5, points deducted for some of the clunky dialogue and unbelievable choices the characters made. I mean, who the hell would follow orders from their boss in the middle of such a horrible slaughterfest? But I guess I shouldn't demand too much realism from a work of fiction. Pram Supplement. Smoking Pram AI13KE. Supplementary material. Interview with Blank, conducted with the aid of a French translator on November 17, 2009 in a retirement home in Blank, France. Were you born on August 2nd, 1979, Mr. Baralou? Translated from French. So specific a date. Laughter. As if I could ever forget. I was called to a fire at the Rue Blank. What did you see? Smoke. White, like a new pope rising from the windows of a small shop. I sent my men in. I was fire chief back then. What happened next? We pulled the shop owner out. He was already dead, smoke in his lungs. We found the source afterwards. A baby's walker. Poured water onto it, but that only encouraged the smoke. We pulled the carriage outside. Smoke kept shooting out. A crowd of people gathered, said it was a miracle, but I disagreed. It seemed to me like more of an omen. We brought the strange thing back to the fire hall. Some Americans, like yourself, came later and took it away. End of relevant portion. Typewritten page AI83KE. Containment procedure. No unique procedures required. Description. Altered effect. A standard size typewritten page with minor water damage. The page is full of text, but apart from the top 7 lines, all the rest has been violently scratched out. Only a few individual words and phrases can be made out. The page emits a dim glow in the dark. When the text is read, there is a feeling of dislocation, as if witnessing the page being written as you read it, and as if reality around you was being blank to match the words on the page. The feeling is made stronger if the text is blank. Forensic and linguistic analysis confirm that the text has been written by Alan Wake, with the same typewriter as the earlier materials discovered in Bright Falls in 2010. See Bright Falls AWE case file for information.
I used to know where fiction ends and reality begins. Here, they're all the same. It's a hideous trap, my every thought made real. Fear, desire. How can I ever know for sure I've escaped and not just lost in my own fantasy of it? That thought alone can drive you insane.
Alright everyone, unfortunately that is the end of the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, it really helps out the channel. And I will see you next time for episode 7. I can't wait. Bye bye.